Welcome. Start in 5 minutes. Make sure y'all getting y'all pens ready. Y'all getting y'all pencils ready. Paper. This is gonna be a great masterclass. But of course, you cannot trust your memory because you can't remember what you wore 5 days ago. So before we get started, just make sure you guys are getting your pen and paper ready. And also make sure if you can turn on your screen and then also change your display name to your first name so I can know who I'm speaking with. Right. And if you guys can just drop in the chat like what city you guys are in.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah, Toronto. Okay, we got Dallas in the house. Okay. We got Toronto, Canada. Let's go. We international in here. Okay. Copy. Like I said, welcome you guys. We'll get started in 3 minutes. We got some more folks that just entered. Again, welcome. I'm gonna be learning a lot of great information tonight. Like I said before, you guys turn on your camera screen so I can actually see what's going on. So I'm gonna be going over a lot of great information, and some of the information might be so fast. I mean, I might feel like, damn, I'm going too fast, but I can see the look on your face, like, okay, fast, or Oswego. I'm familiar with Oswego. But yeah, so yeah, make sure you guys turn your camera on, and then also you can change your name from to your actual name. That would be great as well. I appreciate you so much. Oswego, okay. Yeah. Cool. So we're gonna get started. Um, let's get it. So let me ask you guys, what are okay, so we got Farhan in here, we have Marvin T, Eham, if I said it right, Ilham. Um, let's get it. All right, so we're gonna get started now because it's time to get started. So let me ask you, what are some, if you guys can come off of mute, what are some challenges you're having right now, either in your current business or getting started, or like some main questions you guys like are having before I even start with the presentation? Because I want to know what's on you all's mind. So between I think I'm saying Regime,
Yep.
Marvin, let's go. Ilham. What how you doing
Yeah.
today, Regime?
I'm doing good.
You tried. You tried. Good effort, Jamaica. We won.
The what so where are you at in your car to like journey?
Um, well, right now I got a total of six, three on Turo, three on private. The private side is just kind of hard to secure long term. I don't know if it's just the environment, the demographics being, closer to the
Oh,
Chicagoland area, or, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, wait, where are you at in the Chicago?
Oswego is
Oswego. That's like
close to
what suburb? Yeah.
Naperville, Plainfield, that type of area.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. The FYI, if you guys didn't know, I'm from the Chicagoland area. I'm out here in LA now. But you said
Okay.
issues securing like long-term renters?
Yeah, yeah. The most I get is probably like I got one consistent long term, just they just keep extending every other 3 days they
yeah. How
extend it.
many?
And then I had one that was 94 days, and then I may average 30 days. I can't break past that 30-day mark.
Mm, that's huge. That's huge. Okay. And are these people like are they on tour or off tour or where you find these folks from?
They're actually on No, I'm on the phone. They're actually on Turo, to be honest with you. So I'm just converting them from Turo over to my personal, and so I can capture some of that revenue versus paying all those fees in Turo and put that money in my pocket.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's actually a great point that you brought up. A lot of people don't realize because we all have, of course, the ability to, go grab a car, find somebody to put in that car, but it's actually having the proper knowledge and information to put the proper person in the car and how to find that proper person to put in that car, and that will keep your car months and months at a time. So that's something I always go over with my students on how to do that,
Think
and
okay?
share with you guys tonight actually how to go about doing that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know.
You
I'll definitely touch upon that. It sounds like more so like uh, uh,
you
kind
need
of
it?
vetting and marketing.
Okay.
So, cool. That's good to know. I'll touch over that tonight. Um, that's around that. Cool. So then we have Marvin. Marvin, did you said something or who? Marvin, I guess you said you were just getting started or you're looking to just get more information on the business. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be going over just a broad overview of the business as well. Just to preface it, Unbiased is one of the best businesses ever to get into because you can get into this business with low capital and make a lot of money. 6, 7 figures, 8 if you wanted to. So that's, cannot go wrong. And then we have Ilham from Toronto. Um, you had said something about insurance. Go ahead.
Yes. I was actually trying to DM you the other day, yeah? I don't
Where are
think you've
you?
seen it.
Oh yeah, be a lot going on. My bad about that. If
Yeah.
I miss you.
So so I've been seeing your videos lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a Uber driver, DoorDash driver myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking to buy like some of the best cars to like, like that's like cheap, like a cheap on gas, good on maintenance, and for that, but the main part that I'm concerned about is like the insurance, right? Do you run a commercial insurance or do you like use your personal policy to rent the cars out?
Um, so insurance is always everyone's favorite question. And insurance is not a one size fit all type of answer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but briefly, I just run personal. Just so
Yeah.
So I would have to go more into depth on it because everybody has literally their own insurance plan. So
Mm-hmm.
not plan as in like plan, but like I help them like personally craft out their own plan based on their level of risk, level of
Mm-hmm.
capital, and where they're at in
Right.
the journey. Because your insurance, what I would recommend for insurance for you, start off with one car is different from 5 cars. And then just who you are as a person. So it all just depends on what you have going on. Um, but
Okay.
how long have you been, I guess, following the information? And then you said you have gotten cars you started with already, or you're just in the process of wanting to get your second car to rent out.
No, I'm just in the process of trying to get one car to get started,
Okay,
right? I'm
cool.
specifically looking at like American makes and models because I'm seeing that those are pretty popular too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chevrolet Malibu or like possibly like a Ford Fusion. Like maybe like the newer ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
Uh,
know, like my question is renting out an old car like much harder than like a new one, I suppose?
nope. I got I had a bunch of 2014, 2015s out right now,
Yeah,
200,000 miles, and they're still going out with no issue. And I'm running out
yeah.
in the 400s. Actually, my
Okay.
oldest, um, I do have one Tesla that's a 2019. That's just one. But then for my
Mm-hmm.
Fusions, which is like my main cars,
Okay.
the youngest car is like a 2017.
2017,
Most of them
yeah.
are 2014, 2015. Really like 2015 is
Ah,
like average age. So
okay, okay,
I
okay.
still charge easily in the 400s. Um, So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I'll cover that tonight. I'll go over, of course, everyone's favorite
Yeah,
topic.
no worries.
Yeah, insurance, and then of course the type of car to buy. So that's good to know. Good information to know. Then we got Veronica in here. What's up, Queen? How you doing tonight? Then we have Farhan. Farhan, what's going on with you and your journey? Don't any have questions? Just curious.
I'm just starting right now. I'm currently in the mentorship with Terrain right now, but I'm getting going right now. I'm gonna take off my first car and get that right. But I gotta fix it. We in the process of fixing it right now.
Okay. Cool. Okay, copy. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. So let me start off the ground rules. Of course, you guys have your screen on. That'll be great, so I can actually see what's going on with you guys. So you guys can get the most out of this presentation. If you do me a favor, and if you're not asking a question, keep your microphone on mute. Unless you, of course, you have a question. You can come off mute. I know. And of course, I'll thrive off of participation. So you can feel free to drop information in that chat, or I'll ask you guys to drop a number or something in the chat. So I'll be like, drop a 1 in the chat if you understand what I just said, or drop a 2. So just to test out now, y'all can just go ahead and drop like a 1 in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it, just so I know that you guys are there. You guys are actually receiving what I'm saying, and I'm not just talking to just the air tonight. I'm actually, my people are actually feeling what I'm saying. You feel me? So the biggest things I just want to make sure is that you guys have a open and fertile mind. A lot of people, they'll get into this and think, oh, I already know this part of the business. I know about how to make an LLC. And if you feel like you already know one part of that business, mentally you're just gonna skip over that because you already feel that you know that information, but it might be something that's a small difference, um, and you just skip that part of the game, and that's something that could change your business, because a lot of this stuff is just so smaller details that keeps you from having um just a horrible accident potentially that could happen, to your car rented out for months and months at a time, from you making no money from this and like saying, man, this rental car stuff don't really work, to the person that's making a ton of money and saying, oh, yeah, I'm about to get another car, and another car. So just make sure you guys are having an open mind. And then the biggest, like I said before, is also about fulfilling what's called the information gap. Everybody drop IG in the chat. Information gap, that's the biggest one, because you don't know what you don't know. And again, that's what just separates somebody from me, who's able to make um up to 7 figures, on my way to 7 figures in this business, versus people that are like, yo, don't ever get into this rental car industry, it's terrible. You can do this business all over the world. As long as there's somebody who's doing rideshare or delivering in your city, it will work. Just because I'm in a bigger city such as Los Angeles, it doesn't matter, because even in smaller cities, it works well. So any other questions before we get started? Cool. Let's get to it. Let's start this PowerPoint on up. One second. One second, guys. We'll get started. I got one more person joining. All right, so let's get started with the masterclass today. Let me share my screen with you all so you can see my screen and see what I have going on. Cool. You guys can see my screen, right? If somebody can come off mute and let me know.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get this masterclass started. Um, Welcome to the Fleet to Freedom webinar, guys. Continue to share. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make 20K a month. And really, I just want to actually be able to show you guys how to get your first car at the very least. And that first car, be able to make that $1,800 a month. Because once you have that first car and you're able to make that $1,800 a month, then you're going to believe in yourself more and more and more that this is possible. So then you'll keep building your fleet up more and more. So where you making that 20K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month. So just to make sure you guys are active and hearing what I'm saying, put in the chat how much money you want to make in this business in a month. If that's 10K, 20K, 1,800, just drop in the chat how much you actually want to make from this business. So by the end of today, you're gonna know a lot of great information. If you should do Turo or private, because some people Turo does work out for. Turo is perfect. Um, but private, you make a lot more money. And then next, you're gonna learn if what's the difference between economy or luxury, where to find these economy cars, because you don't want to just be going out and just buying, any old
Yeah.
car. Some people go ahead and finance. Some people go ahead and finance, expensive cars, which is completely unnecessary. So I'm gonna go over that tonight. Um, of course, financing cars. If you do finance a car, the best way to do that, the 30 for 30 play. That's when you're able to rent out cars 30 days out of the month and keep those cars on the road for months at a time, sometimes even years. I have a renter that rented for me for over a year, and he took a break, came back, but still rented back out for me. Like I said, most of our renters went from anywhere to 4 to 6 months up to a year. And then, of course, everyone's favorite is insurance. So there's a lot of different ways to go about insurance in this business, and that's what keeps a lot of people away from actually joining into this business. Is just their information gap on how to do insurance. And not only that, you can actually make a lot of money from insurance if something was to happen. We don't want accidents to happen. When they do, there is a lot of money there. Of course, then there's accidents and mid-tier luxury. So let's get started. Okay, so about me, my name is Kel King, originally from Chicago. I'm out here in Los Angeles now. I've been able to make a lot of money from the rental car industry. I'm over 5 years in this industry. I'm also an actor as well. I was in a film called The Christmas Dance with Master P. It's on Amazon Prime. And I just love teaching for the impact because I know this industry changed my life, and it can also change you all's lives as well. So, all right. So the first biggest question is Turo versus private rentals. I would say a lot of people ask like, okay, which one is really better? And I would say it all just depends on your risk level. Ideally, I say private is better if you have the proper knowledge and you're able to make more money from it. But the good thing about Toro is they're just giving you the training wheels to get started in this business, right? So they're doing all the SEO for you. They're doing the insurance for you. They're um, they're doing customer service to you to a certain point. But as you can see, a lot of people they're going on Turo and not be able to make that much money. People will say, "Oh, it's oversaturated," but that's why a lot of people look into private rentals. A lot of me and my students, of course, since we have that proper IG, what I was talking about earlier, that IG as in that information gap, we're able to make a lot of money from private and still make sure our cars are safe and we're getting the best customers. Another big thing about only having Turo is that if you only use a platform like Turo, the one that feeds you is the one that starves you. So if Turo was ever to go out of business, a lot of people would be screwed. So that's another great reason why uh, you want to have that proper knowledge to actually be off of Turo. Have you guys heard of Hire Car this year? Anybody heard of Hire Car? Y'all can come off mute if y'all want.
Yeah, I heard about it a little bit.
Okay, so what? Tell me what happened with Hire Car.
Damn, it had got discontinued.
Exactly. So yeah, the thing about it was so many people on Hire Car who things were going great. They had a car on there, they had a car finance, and out of nowhere, Hire Car, of course, couldn't renew their insurance. So all those people who had bought a car on hire car were screwed within a week and they didn't know what to do. Versus somebody like me, I pulled clients from hire car. That was cool. And I had them go private, but it wasn't like a showstopper for me. You know, it was like, oh, okay, cool. This was just a lead generator for me. Versus other people, a lot of people probably actually went to debt off of it. They probably had to get their car, go into bankruptcy from it. So it's important to just have that alternative option. All right, all right, all right. So continuing on. So which car is for Turo and which car is for private? Excuse me. So across the board, the best car is the economy car. If you're gonna do Turo or private, the economy cars are 10 times more cheaper. Um, and then they're also more common. Let's just think about it, right? So on a day-to-day basis, how many people have seen a Lamborghini in person in the last, let's just say, a month? Like drop a one in the chat if you've seen a Lamborghini in person just within the last month. Versus drop a two in the chat if you've seen a a Ford Fusion or a Prius within the last in person within the last weekend. A Prius, a Honda, something of that class. If you've seen a Prius or some type of economy car, just the last 48 hours. Exactly. So as you can see, more and more people are just by default are using more economy cars on a day-to-day basis. That's this way you're able to serve most people instead of just a certain class of people. You got to think about it, when you go to Hertz, you go to Enterprise, these different car rental companies. What are you seeing most of the times? People rent out Priuses and people rent out Hyundais, Ford Fusions. So you want to be able to serve most people. Let me put this person in the room. And also, even if you are in a hot market like, I don't know, Atlanta or LA, people already are only going to rent out something like a Lamborghini for a few days and then they're going to return it. Versus an economy car, people will keep economy cars for a long period of time. And then there's way less just risk with an economy car versus a Lamborghini. Your Lamborghini gets into an accident, um, it could take months for that claim to pay out, and then now you're stuck with a car note for what, 3,500, 5,000 a month versus an economy car. If you do it the right way, there is no car note. And then just even with higher end cars, again, if it gets into an accident, something happens to it, they have to send the parts from way overseas to get to here in America, which can take months at a time. Versus something happened on my Ford Fusion, I'm just going to the junkyard and getting that part and getting it fixed that weekend. All right, so we're moving right along. So where to find economy cars? So again, what I was talking about earlier with that 3-month return on investment. Um, you want to be able to make your money back from these cars within 3 months. And where do you find these economy cars? My favorite place as of now is Facebook Marketplace. As you guys can see from the picture in here, a lot of these cars are super cheap, 3,500, 3,700, 4,600. But I will be able to make my money back in a max 3 months period, sometimes 2 months, and be all good. And like I said, why you want to have that 3-month ROI is because if you think about it, right? If you have a 2014 Ford Fusion, that's say for example on here at 3,500 or 4,300, and you have a 2019 Ford Fusion, that's the same exact price. I'm not same price, different prices. One might be 15,000 if you finance it, and the other one might be 4,000. They still look exactly the same. So renters will still take that same 2014 as if they take that 2019. But you're saving way more money just buying that 2014, 2015. So it's important that whatever car you're buying, you're making your money back in 3 months. So the biggest thing is you that car is being paid off in 2 to 3 months, and every single dollar after that is straight up profit instead of still owing on the car for years and years at a time. Because you'll see a lot of people get into this business, they will try to go get a 2025, 2019, 2021, and it's completely unnecessary. All right, so a lot of people ask, should they have an economy car or a luxury car? Again, as I said before, you want to be able to service most people, and not just some people. But even if you just do want a luxury car, a lot of people why they even want the luxury car is not to really just rent it out. It's because they just want that luxury car of their dream. So it might be an Escalade, it might be some type of BMW, it might be some type of AMG. But what you can do is have that economy car rented out at all times, and it's paying for your luxury car note, which is a way better strategy than trying to go buy a luxury car to rent out, and you're just going through way more hassles with renting out that luxury car. And then also, I recommend if you do get into the luxury end, and more so the exotic end, you're making that 20K a month, so you could just sustain that car note. Um, all right, so next, I think who had the question about this? Was it Uh, Ilham, I think he had the question about this, and then this will help all of you guys as well. What car to look out for? What car you should buy? Again, I recommend the Ford Fusion 2.5 liter engine. Those are the version of the Ford Fusions that are known to have the least amount of issues. Um, not the 2013, the because in this generation of cars, this was the beginning of a new generation. And of course, the newer ones, the first one is going to have the most issues. So me, I say 2014 and up. And then you want to have a fleet of the same vehicle. Let me ask somebody. Virginia, why do you think like it's a smart idea to have a fleet of the same vehicle?
Well, me, to be honest, I like having the same vehicle. I got like Nissan Sentras. I bought them with low miles, but I paid a little bit more, but I got the return. But one thing is, the product, so therefore you're able to familiarize yourself where the car breaks down, stuff like that. Then I go to AutoZone and I get my parts. So, they had a lifetime warranty on the boys. So I could just swap it in and out. I stick with the same car, maybe a year off where things are the same. And that's kind of like my model for that that's been working for me when it comes to the Nissan Sentra 17 and 2018 model.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. That's a great point. You know exactly what's going on with that car. Because all cars want to have their same type of issues over and over. So you have the same type of car, you know what's going on with that car. And then the main point you brought up was the warranty on the cars. I don't know if you've seen a post I've made about the brakes from AutoZone. If you have the same type of car, so you have a bunch of Ford Fusions, like you have five of them, and you just buy a warranty on the brakes, you can switch out the brakes for all five of those cars. Versus you got a Prius over here, a Nissan over there, a Fusion over there. Now you can't switch out the brakes for all those cars. You got to keep buying new brakes in each every time, which is huge. You save a lot of money on brakes because, again, with this business, the drivers are going to be putting a lot of miles on a car. So you don't be changing them brakes every so often for sure. But only thing you gotta spend money now on for those brakes. I mean, oh yeah, only thing you gotta spend for the brakes now is just the labor. So that's a big thing. Also, there's a lot of warranties that come with other parts as well. The rotors, things of that nature. You save a lot of money. Now, I mean, Regime has the Nissans. I mean, he can rock out with it for now. I don't recommend the Nissans just because they are,
Bad transmissions.
yeah, I don't, I
Yeah.
mean, this future, I wouldn't get no Nissans. Um, but the Fusions surprisingly are smooth to people, smooth for this business. The Priuses, Honda Accords. Um, so moving on, of course, the lower mileage you can have, the better. But just to keep it a Beamer show, it probably will be a car that's a little bit in the hundreds of thousands. But don't let that scare you away from buying a car. Um, and then Ilham, about the Malibu. Okay, yeah, we'll go over that we'll have a Q&A at the end, so We'll talk about that then for sure. But um, back to the mileage. I would say go up to anywhere from 150 to 170,000 miles. Um, is I would still buy. Like I said, I have cars that's on the road that's 200 something thousand miles right now. As far as actually buying, max 150, 170,000. As long as you do one major thing, this one major thing, which is make sure you have a mechanic actually test out that car before you buy it. What happens a lot of times is we finally go ahead and try to go buy that car, and we get excited, we feeling good, and then we just skip the maintenance check, and then a month from now, that car is smoking down the road. So it's important that you guys actually bring a mechanic with you to check that car to make sure everything is good, because the mechanic can see things that you can't see because of their experience in the field. Even with my experience right now, I still make sure I have a mechanic check out each and every car, which is super duper important. Um, and then you want to make sure it just has a clean title. It's just easier for insurance. And if you're going to run out to Uber or Lyft drivers, Uber requires that the car has insurance. I mean, it makes sure that the title is clean. So that's big. Check the Carfax. I don't know if you guys seen. Um, there was some report that just came out. It was some lady and her daughter, I think it was. And I don't know if you went over this already, but what about Savage? Oh yeah, no Savage titles, yeah. But there was some lady who her daughter had bought a car from dealership. They thought it was like 130,000 miles on it. And then come to find out the dealership had rolled back the miles, and it was really like a quarter million miles on the car. And if they would have just checked the Carfax, they would have been seeing like, okay, this car miles have been rolled back. So it's super important to check the Carfax. Beyond the mileage, you can see like how many past owners of the car there's been on there. Um, because if a car has been having issues and people might have just been selling that car off to another person and another person, versus you have that one owner on that Carfax, that means they've probably been taking care of the car. The car is probably in great condition. And also you can see the service level on the car. And then also, like I said before, bring you a mechanic with you. Um, when you go check out these cars, you can find a mechanic from yourmechanic.com, or any type of mobile mechanic. Also, there's a great website called car-part.com. I use this website all the time. I had a funny story. I had a renter. She had got T-boned. She got hit really, really, really hard on the side to the point where the person's license plate that hit her was stuck in the car still, even after the accident. So the body shop was saying like it would be like 5K to fix this car. But with me going to car-part.com, I got the doors for 600, and I had somebody put the doors on for 700. So instead of paying 5K, which was the normal amount somebody would have paid for when they went to the body shop, because I had the proper knowledge, the proper information, um, I was able to pay just 700 to get those doors fixed. So that's why it's super important to have that information gap filled. All right. So how to buy economy cars. So the main way to buy economy cars is just called the joint venture method. It was one of my favorite methods. With the joint venture method, you're basically renting out somebody else's car for them. So it could be a friend, family member, somebody you've met before. So you're taking their car and you're putting it onto your fleet, and then you're gonna do a 60-40 split. That's what I do in my program. Some people do 50-50, but mainly 60-40. So you'll take 60% and they'll take 40%. The way you explain it to them is that you'll be doing all of the work in the business. So that's why you take a sheet of paper on the left-hand side of the paper. Um, if you write down all the things that you're doing on that right left sheet of paper, which is finding the customer, vetting the customer, making sure the customer pays on time, repossessions if necessary. That's all the stuff you'll be doing on one side of the paper, versus on the other side, every single thing they'll be doing is absolutely zero. They're just sitting back, collecting the cash each month, and just getting uh, a spreadsheet with the numbers. So that's why I do 60-40 with my joint venture clients. Um, so that's the one way you can get cars for absolutely free and grow your fleet fast. You can also do a 0% interest credit card. So there's different credit cards, such as the Chase business credit card, or Bank of America has 0% interest credit cards, where the first 12 months there's 0% interest APR. And of course, you're supposed to make your money back within 3 months within this business. So basically, if you get one of those credit cards with 0% interest APR the first 12 months, basically you're getting those cards for free. Next, of course, is cash. Of course, a lot of us are still working 9 to 5. So your 9 to 5 is your first investor. So of course, you can use the cash from you getting paid in your job. You could finance the car. I don't recommend that you finance the vehicle at all, just because you're still going to be paying for that car for months and months at a time, years at a time. And then a lot of people don't realize is that if you're renting out to rideshare and delivery drivers, they're going to be putting a bunch of miles on the car. Um, so now on the back end, you have all this depreciation going on. So when you go to sell the car, the driver has driven off all these miles on the car that you bought versus you buying a car cash, you don't have to worry about the back end numbers and depreciation and all that stuff. Um, and then there's a thing called car putty, which is basically a floor plan where they give you a line of credit to finance the cars. So they might give you a line of credit for 60,000, and you can finance 5 cars on there. And that one line of credit. Again, don't recommend that financing, but just giving you guys your options. And then there's of course the broker method. This is more so for the exotic end. So if Regime had a Urus going for 1,200, and I knew Farhan. Um, he wanted to rent out a Lamborghini Urus. So basically, I'm the middleman. I'm the plug. But Dream comes to me and say, "Hey, Kels, I'm trying to get my Urus out for the weekend. So I'll give you the broker rate, which is basically a discount rate for $800." All right. But I know Farhan, who's looking to actually book a Ford Fusion, not a Ford Fusion, a Lamborghini Urus. So I'll just make sure I pay Regime his 800. This is a deal me and Regime already has. Like I said, Regime already has usually the listed price, the public price is 1,200. But since I'm the broker, he gives me the discount of 800 a day. And then, like I said, I have the supply, which is Farhan, and so I'll charge him whatever over that $800 price. So I might charge Farhan 1,400, right? So now I done made $600 off of that deal. And then the great thing about the broker method is I don't have to actually own the car. I'm just the middleman for it. But of course, back to my favorite method. It's a 30 for 30 play. This is the play you guys see me post about all the time. Um, so basically, you just taking that Ford Fusion, you're taking that Prius, and you're renting it out to rideshare or delivery drivers 30 days out of the month. That's why it's called the 30 for 30 play. And it's going for months and months at a time, sometimes even years. Um, some of the biggest notes you want to have for this play is to make sure that you niche down. Don't try to run out to people on vacation and then try to run out to people who cars in the shop. Just stay within the lane of renting out to the rideshare drivers and the delivery drivers. Um, Also make sure that you're checking their profiles to make sure that they're actual rideshare delivery drivers. So you can just ask them like, "Hey, can I see your Uber profile? Can I see your DoorDash profile?" Make sure they're an actual driver on the platform and not just somebody who's just capping. And then, if you anybody on there, they've done the Facebook Marketplace play. Are you guys familiar with what I'm talking about? Let me see. Regime. Okay, perfect. So if you guys are not familiar with Facebook Marketplace, it's where you can basically sell items on. But there's a free way on Marketplace where if you post on there, and I've made a post about this before, you post on Facebook Marketplace and you get hundreds and hundreds of leads, even thousands of leads at a time. And these are all people looking for cars for rideshare, cars for delivery. You just have to set up the post correctly. Um, so this is one great way you can get your car booked out. And then once you're getting all these leads, you want to put these people on a wait list So once that car comes back, now you have another person waiting for that car. So yeah, just going over some numbers. Just just going over some numbers. If you just have one car going out for 1,800 a month, and over 6 months, you're making over 10,800 a month, which is a great amount of money just for one car for 6 months. So in a year, that's over $20,000 you can make from that one car. And like I said, you should only be paying for this car three, four, $5,000. Um, and then make sure you guys are vetting your drivers. Like I said before, anybody can go on and go buy a car and then go run a Facebook Marketplace play. But the biggest thing is having that ability to pick out the proper driver for the car. Like I said, one of the best ways to vet the drivers is to make sure they're an actual rideshare driver, making sure they're at least the age of 25 and up. And yeah, those are some of the main ways to vet the drivers. So some real quick math, y'all should pull out your calculator. If you have just mentally see how much money you can make in this business. So you should be buying these cars from anywhere from you should be renting out the car from anywhere from 350 to 450 a week. But I'll use super conservative numbers here. So if you just use the bare minimum price of 350 a week and with just three cars, that's over $1,000 a week you're making, and then over a course of a month just with three cars using the bare minimum pricing you're charging the customer, that's $4,200 you're making in a week's time, and then of course that's almost 50K in a year you're making, which is great money just with three cars of using that bare minimum pricing. So we move right on. If you have 10 cars and you just charging just the bare minimum, which is 350 a week, again, you charge really 450 a week. This is way better. But you just want to charge your bare minimum pricing, the 350 a week times the 10 cars, you're making $14,000 a month. And can somebody drop in the chat how much is for if you're making 14,000 a month, how much is that within a year? Or somebody say it come off of mute, or somebody drop in the chat, how much is that in a year? If you're making $14,000 a month, how much is that within a year's time? Let's see who got the answer. So 14,000 times 12. Somebody got it. There we go, Veronica. That's $168,000 you're making. There we go, Marvin. That's $168,000 you can make in a year. That's putting you way clearly in the top 10% of earners within the US or just, North America. So, like I said, this is an industry that's super easy to get into as far as the barriers to entry. You just buying, a car for super cheap. But as you can see, it's super easy to scale up and make a lot of money within the industry. And just using different methods, of course, using your own cash to buy the car, or having a joint venture client where you're using somebody else's car and you're renting that car out. Basically just went over that. All right, so this is one of my favorite parts is accidents. So most people, when their car gets into an accident, what do? They just take the car and they take it to a body shop and they get it repaired. But if you guys have the proper knowledge, if you're able to fulfill your information gap, you can actually legally, legitly make a lot of money from accidents. We don't want accidents to happen, but if an accident was to happen, with the proper information, we get paid each and every time. So I'll go over a few ways you guys can get paid from an accident. Who here has ever heard of a diminished value claim? Okay, so with a diminished value claim, what happens is when your car gets into an accident, excuse me, when your car gets into an accident and your car is repairable, um, it'll now go on the Carfax report saying, hey, this car was in an accident. So technically, the value of that car now is less But a lot of people don't know because again, you have to have that information get filled. Is that
Got it
you have
here. I got
you're supposed to go ahead and file a claim with your insurance company or the insurance company to get your money back for that diminished value because again, now that car is worth less. So just to go back over this information, if your car gets into an accident and it's repaired, you're supposed to get a check for that, even if it's from your own insurance company. By a federal law, they cannot raise your premium for filing a diminished value claim. So let's just think about it. Who, like, if we ever been in an accident before, do we know anybody that's ever been in an accident for the last 2 to 3 years? If you have, you're just leaving money on the table, and that's another way you could be making money just from a simple accident. Another big thing is who here rents apartments? Who here is like an apartment? Okay, copy, copy, copy. So I know somebody definitely rents an apartment in here. So you have renter's insurance. A lot of people do not realize this. With your renter's insurance, if something happens, as if somebody breaks into your car and they steal items out of that car, that means you're still covered. So a lot of renter's insurance policies are only about $15 a month. Um, but they actually cover a lot of things as far as lost or stolen items. So I had a personal trainer, and he came into the gym session one day. He said, "Yo, somebody broke into my car while I guess he was at the gym, and they stole all his expensive camera equipment, all this stuff." He's like, "Man, I don't know what to do." I'm like, "Don't you live in an apartment?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." But you have a rental policy. I mean, you have a yeah, your policy will cover you. So he filed the claim for all the stuff that was stolen out of his car. There was a bunch of expensive camera equipment, and he had a check for 7K within 30 days. But most people, they would have just took the L. So that's what's so important to just have that proper information of how insurance works. Um, but actual car insurance itself, um, hold on 1 second, guys. But actual car insurance itself is 3 levels of car insurance for on the personal side. So there's liability. That's if your renter or you hit somebody else, that car will be covered. Then there's collision. So if you're hit, and then there's comprehensive. That's if any acts of nature or God happen, or the car gets stolen, basically. Um, a lot of people don't realize, and say for example, an accident does happen. Say for example, your car gets hit, and then like the accident I was telling you about before, where the lady got hit so hard that um the license plate was stuck in my renter's car. The body shop was saying that the estimate was for 5K, right? So you can still legally get that check from the insurance company for 5K. But if you have the knowledge and go to somewhere like car-part.com, they can still, and you're able to get that car fixed for 700, you're legally able to pocket the difference for that accident. So that's a big thing people don't realize. All right. All right, so we're at the end of the presentation. Um, we're gonna go straight into Q&A. Let me know what questions you guys have. I want you guys to use the reaction tab right below. You can just raise your hand, and then I will go ahead and call on you guys if you have any questions. Or you can just come off of mute real quick. Let me see what we have here. Regime, do you have any questions?
Yeah, what's the best? My thing is, what's the best software? Like I'm seeing so many right now. I'm using HQ,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen Rental Pro, Fleet Finance, Rent Centric. So I'm just trying to figure out, does it really matter, or is it more based on you're scaling the more cars you have? Because I notice a lot of them they're based on the amount of cars you have.
Yeah, so I'm personally transitioning to Connect Pro, and then I've been using Go High Level as well. But HQ is smooth too. I have the HQ as well. They're pretty good. Um, and
Why Connect
yeah,
Pro?
huh?
Why you going to Connect Pro? What you like about Connect Pro?
That's a great question. So they're just already built. They're already built on Go High Level, which is a great software anywhere for automating your any type of business you have. But the person who designed it basically designed it for people that's already in this industry of the car rentals. So like you auto basically you can automate messages like, hey, XYZ renter, your car is your payment is due this week. Make sure you make the payment. Um, and it's just a CRM, so it's a big brain of just the knowledge of all these different activities. So you can send payment reminders, the invoices. You could do a lead, like nurture your lead. So say somebody is interested, they don't book right away. They can send them text messages down the line saying like, "Hey, were you still interested with renting with us?" You can make the contracts on there. It's just that centralized brain system, basically. Did you have any other questions about that, or can you put the name of? Sure. Connect Pro. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat for you. That's no issue. Can the VA be trained? So Marvin, you had a where are you at, Marvin? Did you have a question? Go ahead and if you can come off mute so I can go ahead and answer your question for you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. How you doing tonight?
Okay. Oh, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I was just wanting to know, can a VA actually be trained to run like the day-to-day operations with this business?
Yeah, they absolutely can be trained.
Okay.
I have a few VAs that are actually about to make a year, and then I just hired some more. The biggest thing about training a VA is just making sure that you already know what you're doing and you actually know how to properly train these folks. Um,
Right.
so you can find a VA from onlinejobs.ph. That's the website for it.
Okay.
Uh, but whatever you can do over a phone or a computer, they can do. So if that's
Okay.
customer service, administrative stuff, anything of that nature, a VA can do.
Okay. Cool. Appreciate it.
Okay, who else we got up here? We got Broncos in here. Devon, what's good, man? Farhan, you guys have any other questions about tonight?
Yeah, no, I just made it. No questions from me at this time, no.
Okay, cool. Did you end up actually getting any cards yet, or?
No, I'm still looking. I actually just met with one of my mechanics that's out here. He has some options that he's gonna look at, and I also talked to him about going to meet up to look at some cars. So I'm trying to get that process going once I actually find something.
Okay, remind me, what city are you in?
Vegas.
Vegas.
Mhm.
Okay, nice. Yeah, okay, cool. Did we ever Okay, so you say you're just trying to find that first car.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find my first car.
And what type of car are you looking for?
Um, I started looking for Ford Fusions. I mean, I'm open to anything that's like I said, within what 10 years. Um, but just based on the last car that you had, Ford Fusions and Fiestas, something a good economy car.
Gotcha.
Have anything specific in mind? Just kind of seeing what was out there and said, once I find it, figuring out if it fits what I need.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. Um, yeah, just with looking for that car, you just want to make sure that um you can use OfferUp as well. OfferUp is another good way to like just to look for cars. Um,
Okay. I've used offer, but I've never thought about actually looking for a car on it.
yeah, it's another great place to look for a car.
Okay.
Uh,
Appreciate
let me then also you guys, I know you guys kind of need that. Sorry, some people that ongoing support, so that's something else I do offer. Um, I have a um like a this I don't know if you guys are similar familiar with school, but it's called WAP. It's called a WAP community. So in that community, I drop the replays for a lot of my higher ticket mentorship classes. I drop the replays from on there. So You get 2 replays a week of just of that class. We're just going over a lot of information such as insurance, such as what cars to buy, different issues that you might run into. Um, and then there's a 1 call a week replay with my ads manager. Um, and then also there's the ebook and audio course in there. So I'll drop the link for that soon. Zoom user, you had a question. Or somebody.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. What's your last
Brenda.
Brenda? Okay, how you doing tonight, Brenda?
I'm good. How are you?
Stress free.
That's great. So I had a question. I had purchased a car a few years back. I really bought it just as a secondary
Hmm.
vehicle, but we decided to, say it's just sitting here majority of the time. Let's see if we can make some money off of it. So I had put it on a platform that's now no longer in the US.
Hmm.
And I wanted to
Well,
know.
hire car.
Yes. And it was doing really good. And then
Hmm.
I got one person who everything it just fell apart. So
Hmm.
there was an incident that happened, not any fault of his, just some random thing. But in the midst of it, he actually ended up acquiring a couple of parking tickets that he
Hmm.
didn't tell me about. And later on down the line, I get these notices and I end up having to be, it was back and forth. I'm in LA and it
Oh,
was
you in
back,
LA? Okay.
uh-huh. And so it was back and forth, with the city and stuff. And at the final thing was like, well, you know, you responded too late or whatever, whatever. And I ended up being liable for those citations.
Hmm.
And I reached out to him, of course, no answer,
Yeah.
ghosted, whatever, which I kind of expected, unfortunately. But my question is like, what do you do in cases, or have you come across anything like that? If are you
Yeah.
from LA, right?
Yeah. I live out here. I've been here for about 8 years. Yeah.
Okay, so have you like ever experienced anything like that? And
Yeah,
if
for
so,
sure.
like, what would
Was it
you
the LA
recommend?
Department of Transportation?
Yes, uh-huh.
They so dirty. They're so dirty. They so I hate them.
They stay
So
on their job. They stay on their job.
yeah. So in general, there's a few things you can do.
Mhm.
Just future wise. So for the current tickets you have, um, you probably just don't have to actually pay it. This is, just being straightforward with you.
Yeah.
Um, but future wise, what you can do is this game is a really big game of leverage. So you just want to make sure you watch your mail the next time. When a current renter is in your car, you can actually have them pay for that tickets while they're in your car versus find out down the line. And that's another great benefit of having the long-term renters. When those tickets do come through, now
Mhm,
while they're in your car, you can say like,
mhm.
"Hey, XYZ renter, you got this ticket. Can you go ahead and pay for this in your next weekly invoice?" But since they're in the car, they're gonna 9 times out of 10, since they need the car, they're gonna pay for it. But once they're gone, they're not gonna pay for it. And a lot
Right.
of times you can forward the ticket in the person's name. It's just like certain cities, certain bureaus, they just
Mhm.
they just want to do you dirty. Like I already know the Department of Transportation for
Yeah.
LA, they just want to do you dirty. But if it's like West Hollywood, what is it? The toll roads folks, they usually pretty
Mhm.
like cool with like forwarding like tickets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went through like the process. They gave me
Hmm.
the paperwork when I went to the office, because I explained to them the situation. I printed out everything to show them like I wasn't in possession of the vehicle at the time. And so they
Hmm.
were like, okay, just fill out this form and whoever it
Hmm.
was and blah, blah, blah. And I did because obviously I had that person's information. Um,
Hmm.
but at the end of it all, once I submitted everything and then, they take like forever to respond back. And once
Hmm.
they finally did, they were just like, nope, sorry. You're going to have to pay for that. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just telling you from experience, like firsthand experience. Like I'm just like LA Department of Transportation. They're gonna tell you that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, for sure, go ahead and do it, and then not honor it. So I've been through that myself.
Yeah.
So you probably, like I said, I'm probably gonna go ahead and pay those tickets.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah, but future wise, just when the renter is in the car, just make them pay for the ticket, and then if you're in a rare instance where you weren't able to make them pay for those tickets, if it's a different um I don't know what you call it, parking enforcement agency. They usually are pretty more cool. Like I've had West Hollywood for its tickets from in renter's name.
Oh,
The toll pass people on, I think it was like, whoever runs the 110 freeway.
uh-huh.
I forget the name of them. They
I'm
usually
not
pretty,
sure.
yeah, they're usually pretty chill with like forwarding tickets to renter's name. Into
Okay.
renter's name. But the best way to do it is just really just as your renters in that car, just collecting the payment from them then, ideally. Um,
Yeah.
so
I
yeah.
mean,
That's just yeah.
it
But
was, so the incident like was, there was like it was a, oh, what do they call, vandalism that was ended up like he had parked the car, out in the street, and then the next morning it was like somebody had thrown something on fire on the car and it busted the windshield, like it, busted the windshield, did some paint damage. Nothing super major, but enough to take the car off, um, off of working. And so once, and then that was a long process with hire as well. Once that
oh,
finally
so this
got,
is on hire car. Oh yeah, you did say hire car.
yeah, this was
Yeah.
while I was still on hire car. And prior to that, I mean, everything was a great experience with them. I didn't have like any problems. And but this just freak thing happened, and he had to return the car. So after that, it was just like, okay, well, I'm done with the car. But I was like, when I received the notices and I'm trying to get in touch with him, he's not answering.
Oh, yeah, they're
I
not gonna
tried
pay yet.
I tried going through hire, and it was a whole episode. So
I'm surprised hire car didn't pay off for it. When
no,
they
hire told me, they told me that, but I think this was already close to when they were starting to kind of like
phase
back
out.
out of, yeah, right. So they told me like, oh, I had to get in touch with the renter. And I was like, I've tried and they're not responding. And they're like, okay, well, we'll freeze the account and they can't rent until they settle everything with you. But I mean, a couple months after that, they ended up, closing everything down over here. Like, okay, we're
Mm.
done. So I don't know. But I was just curious if you experienced anything like that, and like
Yeah,
what,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's why I just love the long story short, with specifically with the Department of Transportation, yes, but like I said, the other transportation authorities, it's been easy to afford the tickets, but it just goes back to like the business model of renting out long term, because of course it takes time for those tickets to process. So you got somebody that's renting for you for 6 months, you're gonna catch those tickets in time, 9 times out of 10.
right,
Um, so that's why I say just the long-term strategy of renting out to those people, and then just when they're in the car, you're just able to just hit them up and say like, "Hey, I have these tickets." So that would be my. I know, of course, you can't fix what happened before, but just future going out, that's probably the best bet is um, just making sure you check your inbox and have rent out to people. A, rent out to people that long term, so you can
right.
cash those tickets, and then B, just checking your mailbox. So what are you doing with your cars now since it's no more hire car?
It's collecting dust right now.
Okay, okay, okay. What type of car is it?
It's a 2019 Toyota Corolla.
Okay, it's a Corolla.
Yeah.
Are you financing or are you
Yes, I'm financing.
okay, okay. What part, if you don't mind, you don't mind saying in chat, like what part of LA are you in?
Like I'm in the Hollywood area, so
Oh shit. Okay, okay. You're not too far. Cool, cool, cool. If you're interested, like I said, I have a lot of joint venture clients. If you're interested, of course, I'm able to do a joint JV for you if there's something if you're interested in. Um,
oh, okay,
or if or if want to learn how to rent that out for yourself, then again, that's something else I can show you. So either showing you how to rent it out for yourself, or
right.
you want me to rent out for you, we can definitely talk more.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I'd appreciate that for sure.
Are you on Instagram, or what's the
Yeah, I am actually.
what's your Instagram? I'll send you a DM.
Oh God, I don't use it that often. Ooh, I gotta think of it. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's
driving
fine.
right
You
now.
can
I'm driving right now, and I can't pull it up. But I can reach out to you. I can DM you.
yeah, just DM me. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
we'll take it from there.
okay,
Uh,
that'll work. Thank you. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
No problem. Cool. Any other questions, guys? All right, cool. So I'm gonna show y'all this real quick before we close out for tonight. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, so again, like I said, this is the WAP community I was telling you guys about. So like I said, you'll get the two free weekly, the 2 calls a week replays with me coaching. So pretty much how we have a call here each month. Well, basically a call here. It's a similar format where you come on and be able to learn from me. But like I said, it'll be the replays of the calls. But a lot of people still receive a lot of great knowledge from that. And then it'll be a replay from my ads manager from his calls. And then I have an ebook on there and then an audio course. And if you guys sign up today, there is a 14-day free trial. Um, and a lot of people do end up staying with the program. And then after that, it's only $47 a month. So you're able to get actual information ongoing instead of just having to guess or not know what to do next. You're getting some form of information for a super free rate, basically the free trial, or if you do continue to go on for the $47 a month. And then also um, I do have a mentorship program, a higher ticket level, where you're actually able to be on the calls just like this with me every week. Instead of just getting the replays, I'm able to ask me questions. I'm able to give you insight. You have my direct number. Just really help you get to that next level in the rental car industry. So if you're interested in that, you can schedule a call here in the chat using that link. And then, like I said, for just the WAP community, just for the replays, you can use that link. So, other than that, I appreciate you guys coming out tonight. It's been a great call. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to DM me, IG Rental Car King. If I don't answer, just still hit me back up. I'll be getting a lot of messages. So, until next time, I'll talk to y'all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.